The son-in-law of the late Osama bin Laden is said to be in the U.S. at this hour, awaiting a court appearance tomorrow. Sources say former Al-Qaeda spokesman Sulaiman Bughaith was picked up overseas. He is now facing criminal charges here, and that is creating an uproar on Capitol Hill. Meanwhile, there are new questions tonight about what has happened to all of the information captured and recovered during the raid that killed bin Laden almost 2 years ago. To date, intelligence sources say only 17 documents out of hundreds of thousands recovered have been made public. Why? Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Harridge has our top story.
This 7-page indictment charges Sulaiman Bughaith, an Al-Qaeda spokesman and son-in-law of Osama bin Laden, of conspiring to kill American citizens. Without discussing operational details, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee says Bughaith is a significant capture.
His history as somebody that has been active and engaged in Al-Qaeda, has spent some time in Iran, the southern part of Iran, conducting or at least planning operations and doing facilitation for Al-Qaeda business.
Fox News is told the Al-Qaeda operative was brought to the U.S. several days ago, has been cooperating with authorities, and he is expected in this New York City federal court by Friday. On Capitol Hill, leading Republicans accuse the administration of failing to notify Congress and much more.
This guy didn't rob a liquor store. Why in the world are we treating him as if he's some common criminal, and why in the world is he not at Guantanamo Bay?
A similar incident seemed to play out after the failed bombing of Flight 253 over Detroit on Christmas Day 2009. Then White House counterterrorism advisor John Brennan chastised Republicans for second-guessing the administration's strategy of almost immediately reading Umar Farouk Abdel-Muttalib his rights and prosecuting him in a federal, not a military court.
They knew that in FBI custody means that there's a process that you follow as far as Mirandizing and presenting him in front of a magistrate.
Since the bin Laden raid, some analysts say Brennan has been the administration's point man for access to the Al-Qaeda leader's personal files and videos. A week after the raid, senior administration officials described a treasure trove the size of a small college library.
Staying true to our values as a nation also includes upholding the transparency upon which our democracy depends.
But despite these promises, critics say less than 24 bin Laden documents are publicly available, with the largest batch, 17, released to West Point's Counterterrorism Center.
I think the files probably complicate the Obama administration's overall counterterrorism strategy, and that they show there's a cohesive international terrorist network led by Al-Qaeda that operates to this day, and Al-Qaeda really isn't that close to defeat.
Later this month, top intelligence officials, including John Brennan, are scheduled to be on Capitol Hill to lay out the global threats against the U.S., including the status of Al-Qaeda. With the Bughaith case, the administration's law enforcement approach will once again be under scrutiny, Brett.
It appears from public reporting, Catherine, that these documents that we haven't seen perhaps show bin Laden much more active in even some of these affiliates of Al-Qaeda.
A congressional source who's been briefed on the documents told us today that it shows bin Laden was very active in connecting with the affiliates, offering advice and direction. So this idea that bin Laden was somehow isolated and totally withdrawn from the network is not accurate.
Okay, Catherine, we'll follow it. Thank you.